Hello, Sonia Barrett here, and welcome once again to another chit chat. Today I want to talk about stop trying to be happy. And I know some people probably may see the topic and go, what? I don't want to read that because I want to be happy. Well, the reason why I thought it important to talk about it is because there's such an overdose of be happy, be happy, be happy. And it's causing so many people to actually live this, what should I say, this deception. They play this role, this character. They give you what you think happiness should look like, but on the inside, that's not quite what they're feeling. And I think a lot of people are under a lot of pressure to live up to this model and ideal of happiness, of what, reality should be, what it should reflect. And it's also packaged for us. I'm always talking about that. And I try to break away, and I won't even use the word try. I break away from all the packaging of reality, these safe packages that actually really distract us and take us away from ourselves, from our authentic selves, from being able to be free to own the truth of who we are and what we're feeling. More importantly, what we are feeling, and to not feel like we're going to be judged because of how we feel. And I think one of the things that you have to look at is, what does it really mean? When you say you want to be happy, what does that mean for you? Because I can guarantee you that for most people, happiness is associated with or looks like these packaged ideas, this model of happiness that's sold to us through movies and TV shows, pictures, and just the people around us. We'll look at other people and we want to be happy like them, but you're not living their life, so you don't even know what that really means. We are very good at creating these characters, these roles that we step into. We're good at imitating something. We're good at imitating an idea and a concept. And so when I say stop trying to be happy, this is what I mean. Because if you really truly want to experience an authentic sense of joy, it's important that we go ahead and we embrace all of our emotions. We embrace all of our feelings. It's important because we actually get to see, they're like breadcrumbs. We actually get to follow the trail of that particular emotion, that particular feeling, and see where it leads in us. It's an opportunity to see what we're made of. It's an opportunity for greater evolution within us. So to want to push it under the rug is actually, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you could actually be stagnating your own growth because you don't want to see it, because it's unacceptable. It's not accepted. To not be happy is unacceptable. And that's basically, that's a fact across the board. And so everybody wants to be in, I guess, what is acceptable. Nobody wants to be the odd person out. You want to be part of what is ideal. And so we find people in all walks of life striving and struggling to attain this idea or concept of happiness, probably based on their own society. Because there's happiness specifically based on each social setting, each environment, and your family environment. You are, they're models of what that should look like for you. Your parents gave you models or information about happiness, and it could be, you know, making sure that you go to college and get a good job because that's going to make you happy because you'll have money, you know, you'll do well and you'll be able to have enough money to take care of yourself. But is that really happiness? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. What does that truly mean for me? And it, once again, is not about living up to this model or this packaged concept of living up to being a good person and doing the right thing, because you're always hearing that, you know, it's important to just do the right thing. But what does that mean for you? What is the right thing? Is the right thing for you going to be based on social models once again? Because most of the time it is. It's based on these social conditions, these social protocols of what these particular emotions and feelings and actions should look like. It has to fit in the box of safety, this safe box of all that is acceptable in our environment. It's like talking to yourself, you know? I'm famous for that. And my husband will walk in the kitchen, excuse me, and he'll go, "Are you talking to yourself again?" And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'm talking to myself again. I'm with myself all the time. I should be talking to myself. I am most familiar with what's really going on. Me, myself, and I, we're all just in this together. So yeah, it's okay for me to be talking to myself. In the car, oh, somebody's talking to themselves. You know, so I'm making light of it because it's true. It's every little thing. When you look at it, every little thing has sort of been presented to us, and in terms of what is okay to do and what is not okay to do, what is acceptable to do, what is safe to do, and what is not, you know, what is not safe, what's going to make you look odd, and nobody wants to look odd. So there are all these protocols and conditions and ideas and ideals that we are presented with, and it takes us completely away from who we truly are. Most people never get introduced to themselves because throughout their lives they have been striving to live up to those expectations, those conditions. So I say this is a time of year where happiness is really pushed, and you don't have to get anybody a gift if you don't want to get anybody a gift. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, because I say this: if you are going to do something for somebody and you're going to complain about it afterwards, then you shouldn't do it in the first place. You don't have to do it. There's no rule that says that you have to do that, other than you're going to turn around and talk about how bad you feel. You feel bad. Well, why do you feel bad? I guarantee you, once again, that feeling bad is because you're going to measure your action against what is accepted, what is acceptable in our social setting, in our environment, in our society, in our families. So you're a package, you know, you're made up of all of these protocols. It's like your whole life is made up of these protocols. And then, of course, religion gives you your model for what you should be. Of course, you're supposed to model your life after Jesus, and they, of course, there's this picture painted of Jesus, obviously a saint. So you are constantly trying to live up to much of these images, much of these models, much of these ideas. When do you get to be you? When do you just get to say, to hell with it, this is who I am, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. When do you get to do that? Well, you ask yourself that question and then examine your life. Examine the flow of your life. always smiling. Am I really happy? I'm always smiling. Oh, you're such a bright smile. Am I really feeling that all the time? Or has it just become automatic now? So I'm just always peeling away all the layers of fakeness, all the layers of the acceptable image and face. And are you looking at your neighbor and they seem to be happy, and life seems to be good, and then that becomes a measurement for you now, or a family member, or friends, or people you work with, or people in your church or whatever organization. You want to be like them. Or if you're not saying you want to be like them, there's some part of you that is using them as the model, or your barometer, your measuring stick of where you are in your life. It is so very subtle, and it's very easy to do. And we've all done it on different levels. I've done it on different levels, maybe not necessarily on some of these major levels, but I've caught myself in many different situations. And you realize when you're doing any kind of measurement, measuring yourself against something else. And so I wanted to really point that out, because I think now in particular, it's very major. And then in terms of the political climate, once again, here in the U.S., guess what? Regardless of who is in power, nobody has that kind of power. Do not give any of these people that kind of power to think that they control your happiness or non-happiness. They do not. Neither does anybody else in your life. Neither does your spouse. Neither does your children. In all honesty, nobody really controls your joy and your happiness. We give them power. We give them the power to control it. We give them in our minds. It's an illusion anyway. It's an illusion. But the illusion for us is very valid and it's very real. And so it's much easier to blame other people. But I will not give anyone that kind of power over my happiness or what I determine to be happiness for me. And neither will I force myself to be happy based on these models when that is not what I'm feeling. Because every one of those emotions, once again, means something. They are significant. They're all frequencies. This is an electromagnetic system, and our emotions, our feelings, that is how we are able to experience being human. And so that's why they're all significant. It's how we process the human experience, electrochemical impulses. And so go forth in your life and be and live and be okay. And another thing I wanted to point out also is, which I meant to say that earlier, is the sense of the times when people are feeling depressed. I figure I better say that. But everybody, I think most people have experienced depression at some point in time in their lives. I certainly have in my life experienced feeling depressed. And when people go into a state of depression, it can be for a short period of time, and then for some people, they get caught in there. It becomes chemical, meaning that they become chemically addicted, because the body's a chemical factory, addicted to that experience, that feeling, that being depressed. And it's pretty much like you entered this vortex, this portal, and you're caught in this other dimension of depression, and it's hard to get yourself out of there. Now you need assistance to get out of there because you're now wired for being depressed. But I tell you, in those moments, it is best to dig deep and to see what it is in your belief system. When did this begin? Go in and see and follow the trail of those beliefs, and dig into them and recognize that these are things that probably were in the past, they happened to you before, and that every moment is new, and that you really can recognize the newness of every moment and decide in this moment that life is going to be different. You may still need some assistance in getting to that place, but know that that is the place that you want to go to. Not somebody else's idea of happiness, but of you just being free and finding and finding that space inside of yourself, and know that this moment again is always new. And what happened to you before happened to you before. Yes, it did. But here you are right now, and you have every opportunity to make those changes because you're still alive in this body, and you are pliable. Yes, the brain is very pliable, very plastic. We're changeable. We are incredible at adapting and changing. This is what we've done throughout our journey as humans and on this planet. We're very pliable beings. So remember that and realize that I can leave this space. I can move forward. And sometimes I know in the past, I've had those moments where I've had to like really force myself out of that space, think, okay, it's time. I've been at this for a while, where you feel like you want to pull the covers over your head and you could just stay there forever. Or my favorite one, where you could sit in a corner and just have cobwebs just grow all over you and it wouldn't matter. Somebody might say, well, you're crazy, you're losing your mind, you need to be on something. Maybe in that moment you were, maybe in that moment I was, but here I am now. Guess what? You live through it, you move through it. It's okay. It's all okay. It's all just a human experience. It's all just a human experience. So there's nothing to be judged. You don't judge yourself. You don't beat yourself up about it. Neither do you do that to other people. Anyway, I could go on and on about this subject because it is a very, very big subject. It is the platform for much of what we do, as the world is constantly striving to find happiness, utopia, just peace. We just so crave this off balance kind of experience where it's just one way. No, there's momentum in those moments when you're not feeling that overdose of happiness or overdose of joy. It can be propulsion. It can be a launching pad. It all counts, and it's all okay. Just own yourself. That's it. Own yourself. And it means owning everything about yourself, and know that you're fine. You're good. All right. So that's it. So once again, you know my website by now. It's on the screen, therealsoniabarrett.com. And go and subscribe so you can be updated on my when I send out newsletters or special offers or anything like that. And also thebusinessofdisease.com, you know that as well. Visit thebusinessofdisease.com, and you'd be really amazed to see what that film is. You can watch it online right now, just on the website. And the book, Health and Inside Job and Outside Business, very profound information. Anyway, wishing you a wonderful rest of the year, week, going into 2017, and I'm sure you'll hear from me again before 2017. See you then.